If you're trying to grow on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram all at the same time and you're not seeing growth, it's not because you're lazy, it's not because you suck, but it's likely because you are spreading yourself way too thin. And this is especially true if you have a job or school or something else going on that takes up a significant portion of your daytime hours. There sometimes really just isn't enough time to learn all 3 platforms at once. So in this video, I'm going to break down why this is happening, what you can do to fix it, and what I would do if I was starting from 0. And just for context, I currently work a 9 to 5. I have a 3-hour commute. I meal prep and I work out 4 times a week. So I'm working with very little time here too. The game of social media across all platforms is very, very similar, but not quite the same. Every platform has different algorithms, different viewing styles, different ways to promote your content. But in reality, it's 3 completely different skill sets, especially if you don't have much time throughout the day, which is our case if you're watching this video. You have to learn how to title and package and purpose YouTube videos to get people to click. You have to work on your hooks and audience retention for the short form content, and also editing and including your personality and all the after effects that go into making these videos something special. Does that sound like a lot? That's a lot, especially when you were low on time. And when I was this close to achieving burnout, it felt like I was doing so much work and not actually moving anywhere. I was like on a little hamster wheel. So how do we fix that? First, you need to pick a primary platform. For some, this is going to be easier to figure out than others, but first you have to consider who you are as a creator, what content you're trying to make, who you're trying to make content for, and what platform best suits the type of content that you need to make. So if you're looking to make deeper and more valuable content or even create a community, YouTube is typically the platform that people choose because it breeds the environment to do so. Similarly, if you are very high energy or good at catching people's attention right off the bat, TikTok and Instagram might be the platforms worth considering. Now for me, it was pretty obvious. I like the idea of YouTube. I like the idea of providing value in a decent sized clip. You can go into depth more, you can foster a community. And for me and my personality and the type of content that I'm making, that was definitely the choice to make. So as a result, I chose to put more of my time and effort here. Yes, I still post short form content here and there, but I've also learned to systemize short form creation from long form content. Easily explained, once a YouTube video is posted, I'm able to make those clips into vertical sized videos and just repurpose those clips for short form use. And it's not that short form is bad. It's not like one is better than the other. You really have to tailor it to who your content is for and what content you're trying to produce and how you want to provide value long term. Now, depending on what platform you choose, the goal is always the same. Get the attention and retain it. So if you can do that, you win and nothing else really matters. Think about it. The more attention that you can get, the more reach that you will build, the more reach you have, the more followers come in, the more people start to like you and your editing style, maybe it's your personality, whatever it is. From there, you can lead them into the funnel of your business because likely you are starting YouTube as a business and want to create money from it. So if you're doing YouTube, your packaging, your title and thumbnail combo, that will be everything at the beginning. The packaging, the title, the combo, and the first 30 to 60 seconds. That is the only thing to focus on this side. Now, if you're doing short form content, your hook is everything. How well can you catch people's attention in the first millisecond with your text, your face, your other visuals, how you are presenting yourself? That is going to be the most important, because if you can hook them in the first 1 to 3 seconds, they will likely watch the rest of your video. Because on this side here, you need to stop their scroll. And if you can evoke some sort of emotion, the more, the better. So in order to do this, if you have a conflicting view or if you have a different viewpoint than what's commonly stated in your niche, you will be able to provoke emotion, have people comment, ask questions. Is this good? Is this bad? I hate this. I love that. The more engagement that you can get, the more distribution your videos will get, and therefore the more reach that you will have in total. And the best part about this is that you do not need to reinvent the wheel. Creativity is at an all-time low. You can copy other people, and don't be ashamed to copy other people. Give credit where credit is due, but you can utilize the same topics, the same designs, the same hooks as anybody else does. Because if you try to be creative, you will burn out so quickly. So find what works with other people, especially in your niche and in adjacent niches, and figure out a way to use that for your style. Also, something really cool about this too is that if you take inspiration from somebody who's adjacent and you try to copy them, odds are you won't be able to copy them exactly. So you'll just be doing almost an interpretation of what they do that somehow becomes your style anyway. and people will eventually want to copy exactly what you're doing, which is just a bunch of copied aspects of other people. So focus on the important things. Do not major in the minors. Focus on the big tasks, the big things that you need to do, and you will find success. So if I had to restart making content from ground zero and save myself almost a full year of content production, this is what I would do. Step one is you must get extremely clear about who you are making content for. Because if you make content for everybody, you make content for nobody. The only reason why social media exists and does so well is because people target specific customers. Brands target influencers because these influencers have a certain pull over this brand's target market. Makes sense, right? So if you take away nothing else, be specific with your audience. Are they 20-year-old entrepreneurs? Are they 45-year-old women in fitness? Are they 55-year-olds trying to grow on YouTube? Figure it out. The more specific you can be, the better. Yes, you are not trying to target everybody, and views may seem low, but that's the wrong way of looking at this. You want to figure out where your expertise and your passion is and what other people in this world need. And where all of those collide, think of a three-part Venn diagram, that is exactly the content that you need to make. Once you have that dialed in, you need to know, where do they spend their time? Who else do they watch? What do they interact with online and in person? Because the more you can know about them, the more your business offer seems more valuable. Because if you build up a portfolio of helping, let's say, 55-year-old YouTubers achieve more growth, and you are able to prove that, they are more likely to buy from you because you can prove it. Let me make that more clear. If they feel like you know them better than they know themselves, they are more likely to buy. Because if you know one of their problems, you likely know more of their problems. And then it's just a recurring theme, and that's business. Number two, study your niche. You will not be able to dominate it from day one, but understand who the other players are, understand how they've created their little wedge in that big circle of the pie. And similarly, you need to figure out how you're going to differentiate yourself to have your own little wedge of that pie. And like I said earlier about creativity, look at their titles, look at their thumbnails, look at their hooks, figure out what's working for them. Additionally, find people who are around the same size as you, people who have 1 to 50,000 followers, and look for their outlier pieces of content. Why did that video specifically do really well? Was it their title and thumbnail combo? Was it the way they hooked? Was it their personality? Was it text on screen? Figure out what elements that they were and why people were able to blow up that one video as opposed to the rest of them. The more outliers that you can find with different people and different pieces of content, the better idea that you will have of what you need to do to stand out even better. Now, step three, this is by far the most basic, but the most important for anybody trying to post content, is to just post the damn content. It is unbelievable how many people think about posting content. Oh, I had this great idea, but then, just things got in the way. Don't be that person. If you have an idea, if you can record it and post it right away, do so. If you don't have the time right away, write it down so you don't forget what that idea was. And when you do have time, record it. It doesn't care if it looks bad. Who gives a shit? Your first videos, this is something I learned from Ali Abdaal. Your first 50 videos, if you're posting on YouTube, are for you. That's where you're going to learn, that's where you're going to develop, that's where you're going to hone and craft your skills. The next 50 videos are going to be for your audience. What do they need? What have they told you they want from you? What pieces do they need fixed in their life that you can provide value to? What problems can you solve? And similarly on TikTok, post for 3 months straight. Every single day, at least once. If you can do 3 to 5 times, awesome. Get the reps under your belt, get familiar recording content, get familiar posting that content and not caring what people have to say. Because at the end of the day, if people are gonna make fun of you, that is literally just a preference. They don't prefer that you live that way. Which if you think about it that way, it's like, okay, who cares? Let me just do my own thing. They're not paying your bills, so who really cares? You're doing this because you want to get your bills paid better. You want additional income. Maybe you even want a lifestyle where that's the only thing you have to worry about. Now, step number 4 is by far the most important. It's something that I've had to do to get dialed with my content production, is to build a simple system, especially if you are low on time. I said in my intro, I work a 9 to 5 and have a 3-hour daily commute on top of my exercise and cooking. Now, I'm not saying that to brag or boast or anything about, oh, poor me, look at what I have to deal with. No, I use up 11 to 13 of my 16 to 18 hours awake on a daily basis, which means there's very little time, which also means you have to make that time the most efficient you possibly can. Now, how do you do this? Number 1, batch everything. Batch your scripts or your content ideas. batch your recordings, so do them back to back to back to back. Same with your editing, edit them all back to back to back, because the more time you can put into one task, the more efficient you will be instead of having to divide your brain. Imagine sitting down and thinking, oh, I have to script this idea and then record my previous one and then edit the one after that. You're just dividing your time, you won't be efficient. So batch everything. Have a day for all of this on one day. Now over here, all of this on the other day. And through batching your content and creating a system for your production, you might even double or triple your content organically. Now, number 5 is listen to your audience. Eventually, you will get to a point where your audience tells you what they like, what they don't like, what's working well, what's not working well, and other ideas that you can produce. Because the more specific your content becomes and the more you can tailor your content to those people, the more other people who are similar to that person will attract to your content because you are making stuff that they feel connected to. Now, number 6, this one's important if you are building a business around your content production, which I hope most of you are, is that you want to naturally bring people down your funnel. Yes, this is a long-term play. This will not guarantee you money right away, maybe a little bit, but in order to sustain a lifetime doing this, you need to set this up smartly and know that you are going to be putting out value for a long time, for the long run. You're giving free value in all of your content. You should also be giving free value in the form of digital products or maybe physical products or maybe something else entirely that you think is valuable to your audience. You should also be using that to get people's email addresses, because once you build up an email list, that is your own list. You own that list. You can do marketing down the line. You can sell products down the line exclusively to those people who are here. Now, these are just some ideas, but not only that, the more value that you can provide, the increased likelihood that they will buy from you down the line. And the most important piece here is just to build trust. Would you buy from somebody who you just met? Probably not. Would you buy from somebody who's been giving you free value through content for 4+ years, who has always been there making videos that you just seem to need? Yeah, probably be a little bit more likely to buy from that person. So do the exact same thing. Build trust with your entire audience, give stuff away for free as much as you can, and the rest will come naturally. Now, to be clear, I am still a very, very small creator. I have fewer than 200 subscribers on YouTube. So this is the point where the video ends, because I cannot tell you more than that. I have not experienced anything more than this for myself, and therefore I do not feel comfortable teaching you guys. But this is everything that I've learned in almost a full year of content production, and I hope that this video can save you time when it comes to you posting your own content. And I can say with confidence that spending way too much time focusing on 3 platforms at once was definitely slowing me down. But when I did focus, yes, I'm still able to utilize short form content. Again, YouTube is what I chose, but being able to just focus down a little bit more on one thing allowed me more bandwidth to make what I do better, make my thumbnails better, make my titles better, hopefully have better scripts. And eventually one of these videos will be the one that brings me up in subscribers and really hits it off. But until then, I'm going to keep trying, keep learning, keep iterating, and keep focusing on this system that eventually will build me from where I am to where I want to go. So if that is you and you feel a little bit stuck or confused or complacent, or maybe you're making excuses for yourself, sit down, write down who you want to make content for and the type of content you want to make. Be specific with your goals, be intentional with your time, create systems that allow you to do this work well, and then just do it for days and days and days and days straight. And then you can expand later, okay? This isn't a forever thing. Focus just until you can get comfortable and grow on one platform. Then you can expand, by all means. Maybe you'll be bigger than I am in the span of 2 months from now. Who knows? But get focused and just start. That's it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.